Quitting drinking is a huge accomplishment, and if you've done it, congratulations. But if you're still feeling unhappy or unfulfilled, you're not alone. It's actually quite common. A lot of people expect their lives just to miraculously change or instantly get better as soon as they quit drinking. Now, they do get better in many ways, but quitting drinking is just the beginning of the journey. So let's talk about why you still might be unhappy after you quit drinking and what you can do to start feeling better. One of the main reasons that you still may be feeling unhappy after you quit drinking is alcohol is likely covering up a lot of your underlying issues. Alcohol can be and oftentimes is used as a coping mechanism for things like stress, depression, anxiety, even past trauma. Now, with alcohol out of the equation, these underlying issues, they don't just disappear. They actually tend to rise to the surface and you're faced with them head on. Now, this can be a tough situation to deal with, especially in the beginning. But the good news is that with alcohol out of the way, you will be able to actually face these issues that you've been dealing with and masking with alcohol and handle them properly. Now, there's tons of resources available, therapists, coaches, AA, to help you process these emotions. This can be very tough to face because we use alcohol to feel a certain feeling. We want to feel good. We want to get that rush of dopamine, and we want to run away from those feelings of stress, anxiety, depression. In my experience, when I quit, it took a few weeks, maybe even a month, to start really understanding what alcohol was doing to me, how I was suppressing certain emotions, certain feelings. And when you start to really dive deep into these things, it can be scary because some of these feelings or even past traumas can go far back as your childhood. So it's it can be scary, but it's also necessary. If you truly want to become the person that you were meant to be, you're going to be going through an emotional roller coaster, especially in the first few weeks, maybe even the first few months. And that is due to what is called PAWS, PAWS, and that is post acute withdrawal syndrome. And in the beginning, your mind and your body are going to be adjusting to not having the alcohol in it constantly. And so this can cause mood swings, it can cause anxiety, it can cause depression, and just an overall feeling of, not being happy. This is normal and it happens to almost everyone. It depends on the person if it's how long it lasts, but know that it will end. Like I said, it took a few weeks, maybe even a month or so before I started to feel where I could actually process my feelings and my emotions. So if you're feeling this, know that it's normal and know that you will get through it. And then you have the unmet expectations of instant happiness. Now, we live in a world where instant gratification is king. We want everything immediately, and that's still not fast enough. Now, when you have these expectations that after you quit drinking, everything's just going to be rainbows and butterflies the next day, you're setting yourself up for failure. While things may start improving, your physical and mental health, your mental clarity will start improving fairly quickly, maybe in the first few days, first few weeks. But the emotional healing that is needed isn't always immediate. And when you have these expectations and they're not met instantly, it's a recipe for sadness, anger, depression. Think about how long it took you to develop your drinking habit. Years, decades. It took a long time to get this good at drinking the way you do. For me, I drank for 2 decades quite consistently. And for me to think, oh, I'm quitting, tomorrow is going to be the best day of my life. Like, it's not realistic at all. Emotional healing takes time. And just like anything else, you're going to have to work on it daily. But once you do quit alcohol, that's the first step. And there's no step 2 if you don't take step 1. The truth is, quitting drinking is just one small part of a larger journey. While it's important and a positive step, it's not a magic pill that's going to fix everything overnight. True happiness takes time to build, and it involves working on other aspects of your life, whether that's developing new habits, improving your mental health, or finding new sources of joy and purpose. Now, people identify with drinking, it's a part of who they are. And when you quit, you can lose that. You can lose that sense of connection to social circles, especially if your friends or social circles still revolve around drinking. You might find yourself feeling left out, disconnected, or unsure of who you are without alcohol. Now, I remember going through this. It was tough at first because you do feel isolated. I stayed home and my friends were still going out. My wife was still going out. And in the beginning, there is a little bit of FOMO, but just had to keep reminding myself, like, I've been there, I've done that. Like, I'm done. I'm done with that part of my life. That's in my past. And I have to do this in order to grow and become the person that I know I can be. Now, the transition can be emotionally difficult, but it also opens up opportunities to explore other activities, other hobbies, or even connections that aren't centered around alcohol. Building new relationships, rediscovering old passions. For me, one of my old passions that has really helped me in my sobriety is getting back on my dirt bike. And I started racing again, and that feeling of being on the track, racing, like, I can't put it into words. It's just, it trumps drinking, it trumps being hungover, and I love it. There's nothing else to say. So, if you identify with alcohol, or if your whole life or most of your social interactions has centered or been centered around alcohol, it can be tough, especially in the beginning. But once you get to a point where you're feeling better, like, you start to realize that is much more important. Feeling good, feeling better, having that mental clarity is so much more important to your life than going out and having a few drinks with friends and feeling like shit the next day. And your emotional work is just beginning. Quitting alcohol is a major step, and alcohol can act as a band-aid on a lot of the emotional wounds that you've developed over the course of your life. Now, when that band-aid is ripped off, those wounds are obviously going to be exposed. And it's going to take time and effort to heal them. But now you're in a place where you can actually focus and work on them. I heard something recently that really resonated with me, and it was like, you got to feel it to heal it. If you're suppressing these feelings and emotions, as dark as they may be, you're just making it worse. You're digging yourself a bigger hole. And as soon as you are able to acknowledge those wounds and start to process them, the better you'll start to feel. Now, you can get therapy, counseling, but now is the time to lean into your self-care practices and really put that above all else, because you matter, your mental health matters, your emotional health matters. And it's time we start to recognize this and heal it. Because if you heal yourself, you'll heal the collective as a whole. On your healing journey, at some point, you will notice that there's a void in your life where alcohol once was. You're not just quitting alcohol, you're eliminating it and all the bad habits associated with it. Now, alcohol may have played a big role in your life of how you spent your time, how you managed stress, or even how you had fun. Now, if you're feeling unhappy, it's because there's a new void where alcohol once was, and it hasn't been filled yet with other positive and more fulfilling activities. The good news is this is where rediscovery comes into play. Now you're going to have much more time on your hands to explore new activities, new hobbies, new experiences, new places that are more aligned with who you are now in the present moment. Now that alcohol isn't in your life, you can start to concentrate on building different networks, social networks, spending quality time with loved ones, exploring travel, different workout routines. I mean, you can get creative. Everyone's different. But the main thing to consider is now that alcohol is out of your life, what do you really want to do? Another reason that you may still be feeling unhappy after you quit drinking is alcohol is often used as a way to escape life in general, life's responsibilities, whether it's stress from work, family issues, or personal struggles. When you quit drinking, you're faced with these issues head on, and it can be emotionally overwhelming, especially in the beginning. I had thoughts of, I can't believe I put this off for so long, and just you really start to think of all the things that you neglected, whether that's your spouse, yourself, your friends, your family, your health. It all comes to the forefront, and you're left to deal with it. And that can be that can be hard. And that could also drive you back to drink, because again, that's what's normal. That's what makes you feel good, is having having a drink, right? To soothe the pain. But know that this is a normal part of the adjustment period, and it's all about learning new coping mechanisms that will better serve you versus grabbing a drink. This could be exercise. Getting back into the gym was huge for me. It's a huge outlet. Meditation in the morning, sometimes in the evening, has been a huge help. Reading books on personal development, and just everything I consume, most of the things I consume, are for the betterment of either my physical health or my mental health. And one of the things that is so important to my mental health, to a lot of people's mental health, is cutting out things that no longer serve you, whether that's your diet or things you consume. It could be on your phone, it could be TV, whatever you're reading. There's, especially on social media, there's this, and we all do it, we all compare ourselves to people on social media, right? You see a picture and they're super happy, you know, on their sobriety journey or whatever they're doing, and you instantly want to compare yourself to that person, but you really don't know what that person went through or is going through. They could have the best social media pictures and still not be happy, still not be content. Maybe they're not even sober. You don't know. There is a quote, I can't remember who, but it's comparison is the thief of joy. Might be Mark Twain. But this can also lead to your unhappiness after you quit drinking. Maybe you see other people that aren't drinking and still having fun on social media. But it's just social media. They could be having a terrible time and they look good on camera for 30 seconds. Like, don't worry about that. For me, I still have social media, but I don't have it on my phone because I know what it can do, right? Oh, I'm not where this person is. I'm not where this person is. Like, don't compare your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 25. You don't know what they've been through. They don't know what you've been through. Just concentrate on yourself and getting better every day. If you can get better at least 1% every day, that'll add up over time. Now, social media isn't all bad. You're obviously on YouTube right now watching this video. It can be positive and it can be constructive. It's just a tool like anything else. It just depends on how you use it. Now, on the opposite end of, comparing yourself to others is the importance of a support community, finding people who are going to support you through your journey. Is that your friends, your family, your spouse, or maybe it's strangers on social media that are following the same influencer or page that talks about sobriety? Having people who you can talk to when you're struggling that will understand what you're going through makes all the difference. And this is at any stage of your sobriety journey. Especially in the beginning, it's important to have people around you that will understand what you're trying to accomplish, and people that you can reach out to when you need help or you're struggling with something. Just if it's someone that can listen to what you need to say while you vent. Sometimes that's all it takes, is someone to listen to you. So I would say, in my experience, on both ends, is if you need help, reach out to someone. And if someone you know is struggling, maybe reach out to them and see if they need some help. It can go a long way and it means a lot. So if you've quit drinking and you're still feeling unhappy, know that you're not alone. It's perfectly normal. Sobriety, it is a journey. It's not a quick fix, and it takes time to heal emotionally and rebuild your life and find new sources of happiness. Whether it's addressing deeper issues, finding new passions, building a support community, happiness will come with time and effort. It's also important to remember happiness isn't a destination, it's a journey. So be happy with what you have while you're working for what you want. And if you're on your own journey of quitting alcohol and struggling with your emotions, please comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more content on sobriety, mental health, and personal growth. Thank you for watching. Be kind to yourself, and we'll see you on the next one.